All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about the most valuable teams in Marvel Strike Force. That's the teams that truly are worth your time and your resources here in Marvel Strike Force. We usually do this video every couple patches here. The last one that we did was actually version 6.6. So today we're going to be doing an updated list here on version 7.0. What are those best teams that you should be invested into? All right, so the first team I want to talk about here on this list is the Masters of Evil team. Now, I hate that the room, because of the changes in Cosmic Crucible here, that in room 5 with the Tangled Web team and Eternals, and it's made them a non-reliable counter for that particular room. However, they still are a dominant Cosmic Crucible team, and Cosmic Crucible is a very important game mode in Marvel Strike Force. If you're looking to be able to garner those credits and then also those blue ISO 4 ions, it's a very important game mode. So they're still strong across the board. Primarily right now, they are being used to counter the Wakandans and the War Dogs in room 6. Kang himself is a massively plug-and-play character. This team not great in war, but they are good enough in war to be able to beat some of those mid-tier meta teams because you are putting such high investment into them in order for them to do well in Cosmic Crucible. It can also beat Unlimited as well. So there's a lot of other teams that they can beat in Cosmic Crucible. And we already know based on previous blog posts that this team is going to be needed for a legendary unlock. So best to try to get ahead of it here and try to invest into this team. Although I wish that Kang's release was a lot better. All right, and coming in here next on this list is the new Warriors team. Now, this new Warriors team recently got reworked to be a Cosmic Crucible offensive team here. In regards to the mess that we're seeing that I just talked about with Tangled Web and Eternals in room 5, this team looks like with Firestar is going to be a reliable counter to that team, to that defensive team that's Tangled Eternals on defense. And we also know too that Scopy likes to do this because whenever they give us a Cosmic Crucible team, rework a team, they definitely find a way to give them some buffs in a particular season, right? So give yourself a shot here and start working on this team early now if you possibly can, to make sure that you're going to be ready for whenever those new season changes come in with new Warriors getting some sort of particular buff. Also, Death Pool is needed for an Apocalypse unlock. Oak and Dagger with the rework are going to become Dark Dimension viable characters in your city section because the city section is so terrible in terms of the options that you do have available. And of course, Firestar, when you get an opportunity to unlock or do your best there, hopefully your event is somewhat favorable. And we know that there's mention of a 5th character that's going to be coming to this team here, and maybe that's going to make them even more important in the future. So it will be good to kind of get ahead of it right now if you can. All right, and next on this list here are the Wakandans. Now, this is another team here that is a Cosmic Crucible team, but because of the Wakandan and the War Dogs tag, the War Dogs team is a good Alliance War team as well. Now, they are, of course, forcing you to kind of use this team. Unfortunately, they're forcing you to use this team in Cosmic Crucible on defense instead of actually being able to use them on offense, but that is where they are going to have high value. They also do have value for a legendary unlock with Archangel. They also do have value in the Gamma Raids as a team that you can use on both your left or your right side here in the Gamma Raids. Also, Killmonger as a character individually can be used in 3 different Flash events. Shuri herself is also a very good plug-and-play character as well. So if you're looking at value, once again, the Wakandans do provide that for your roster. All right, and the next team on this list here, although only a 2-person team, is the Undying team. Now, Hela, unfortunately, is being pushed out of the arena meta due to the Apocalypse meta that's going on right now. However, these 2 characters here, Zombie Iron Man and Hela, are a part of a team that you can use in Cosmic Crucible to defeat that Tangled Eternals mess that we have going on right here. So I'll show you the team that I'm currently using to be able to beat this. So you can use Undying with Spider Weaver, 2099, and Emma in order to be able to beat that Tangled Web, Tangled Eternals team in room 5 in Cosmic Crucible. You can also swap out Emma and use Cable. There are also some other characters. I think people have used Captain Sam. There have been other characters that you can throw in here, but the idea, make sure to get Zombie Iron Man to throw down that ability block, those bleeds, spread it alongside here with Hela. Oh, of course, first you'll want to make sure that you use Spider Weaver to then stun the other Spider Weaver here. But a lot of players will prefer to throw this team on defense, which is the reason why New Warriors, as I mentioned earlier, will probably have some value for you there once you do get Firestar. But because of them being a part of this tandem, in this team, I did want to talk about the Undying team here as well. Oh, and I should also mention too, obviously the Undying team is a phenomenal team in Alliance War, so you will get some value from them there as well. All right, the next team I want to talk about here is the Rebirth team. I think that they're a lovely bio doom raid team. I'm having a lot of fun with them right now, and they do well at low investment. As you can see here, some of my characters are still not fully built up. We're slowly working our way up to level 90 and gear tier 15 on all these characters, but they perform very well for me right now in Doom 3.4. Of course, I'll probably need more investment in them in Doom 3.5, but they're probably also going to be the team, the bio team for the next raids that are coming, which I think is rumored as the Apocalypse raids, right? But listen, I love this team. Captain America, I think the best tank in Marvel Strike Force. In terms of just like a utility kit, I think he is phenomenal. Not incredibly versatile though is this team, right? But they can sneak up on you in Cosmic Crucible on defense. They can sneak up on you there. Captain America himself can also be used as a plug and play character, whether on defense or on offense. I've seen a lot of players using Captain America with Heroes for Hire on defense. And then Winter Soldier has some versatility for earlier players. If you're looking for your Villain Chapter 7 campaign, where you're gonna need either Hydra or Sinister Six or AIM, Winter Soldier does have the Hydra tag, so you can use him there and know that you're going to get some long-term value from him as well. And Captain America too, a good early character for players for their Heroes campaign, and also their global for your global section for your ISO campaign. They can be used there as well. So for me, definitely worthy of being on this list. All right, the next team I want to talk about here are the Bionic Avengers. Now, this is your premier tech Doom Raid team. I am hearing though some disappointment from players who are doing the higher difficulties like 3.4, 3.5. I'm currently doing 3.4, and I think that they're okay. There are some times where they can get very easily wiped, so I definitely do understand the complaints, but I kind of just attributed that to me not bringing these characters up to level 90 as of yet. Oh, that's not a fair assessment, because there are other teams like the Rebirth team that do well at level 85, right? So maybe they're being outperformed from that perspective, but either way, they are your only tech Doom Raid option, so therefore that provides value within itself. They also are pretty tricky in Cosmic Crucible defense. I've had some issues there myself, primarily because you have to use some of these powerhouse teams to be those other teams there, and then you're kind of left a little bit thin towards the very end when you have to go up against the Bionic Avengers team. Either way though, I know that they've been a little tricky at times in Cosmic Crucible on defense for some players, especially from an efficiency standpoint too. So they might be the weakest full raid team overall, but in terms of value, they're definitely important. Also for your Scourge event, right? For that Scourge, for Archangel, for even your Hulk Scourge event, you can use them in the Avengers section there too. So value across the board, or value in multiple areas. So the Bionic Avengers definitely do make this list, if you ask me. All right, and next on this list here, I'm only pulling up one team, but I'm going to talk about two teams here, and that's actually going to follow suit for the next section that I'm going to talk about as well. But I wanted to talk about the Tangled Web team here, and I also want to talk about the Eternals. So the Tangled Web team, like I always say, Spider-Man Noir can kick rocks, but Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Weaver are definitely what makes this team kind of get started and going here in Cosmic Crucible. Now, they are out of the arena meta, so they're not where they used to be, but they're still definitely a nightmare in Cosmic Crucible, especially with the Eternals team right now, which is getting those buffs and acting as if, or acting like Tangled Web characters, and also getting the revived ones too, which makes them really annoying. But they're great on offense, they're great on defense in Cosmic Crucible. Spider-Weaver is a sensational plug and play character in multiple game modes, just not arena right now because of Apocalypse. So therefore, there's still a lot of value that you have with this team. If you're looking at the Eternals, let's say they're still, like I said, they're annoying in Cosmic Crucible. They are not necessarily, they're also still being used in the arena meta. There's a team right now that I have with Red Hulk, Apocalypse, Kang, Eternals that beats the other Apocalypse teams as well, depending on what the matchup is. So, and I've seen people use that team on auto to beat some teams in arena as well. So for me, yeah, the Eternals, the Tangled Web team definitely still provide a lot of value if you ask me. And I wanted to kind of wrap this up here and talk about all the Horseman teams. You recognize I haven't really talked about Gamma, I haven't talked about Unlimited X-Men, I haven't talked about Darkhold, I haven't talked about Dead Seed, because I just kind of feel like, hey, let's just talk about all the Horseman teams in its entirety here. You gotta build them. You're gonna need them for Apocalypse. Is there much else that needs to be said for these teams? But Dark Oath's still one of the best teams here in Arena, in the game. Although they are losing some play in Cosmic Crucible right now, or as dominant of a play as they were in Cosmic Crucible, because they are getting negatively impacted in terms of the buffs. Morgan is still Arena meta. All these characters here, Red Hulk, Rogue, Archangel, are still part of the Arena meta as well. For the Dark Oath team, I do dislike the fact that Agatha is still not farmable. I think that that's an injustice. The Dead Sea team, though, a fun raid team that does phenomenally well. I love Nemesis and Dark Beast and Dark Dimension in the global section, so definitely do take advantage of that there. Gamma, my favorite Horseman team, super dominant in Alliance War. They're not needed for no 2 section right now, the Biodoom raids anymore, but it's nice to have them as a backup. And with my lower level Rebirth team, I've had to use them for a backup on like a boss node or two, with using a Gamma team here. And of course, Rogue and the Unlimited team, they're still good in Cosmic Crucible, although they can be beaten by the Gamma team in Cosmic Crucible, but it does sometimes, go RNG as well. But yeah, so you gotta build out your Horseman teams for Apocalypse. So therefore, I wanted to kind of group everything together, because that kind of alone gives them their value, right? All right, guys, I was finishing up this video and then I realized I forgot to add some honorable mentions here. So one that we should have talked about are the Secret Avengers team. Now, the whole team, I think in general, like Sharon Carter, Maria Hill, don't necessarily need them anymore, but Captain America Sam right now is being used with Nick Fury, because Nick Fury is a part of the Invaders team. So the Invaders team should also be on this list. Although I typically tend to wait until a full team is released before I add them to the list here, but because Nick Fury is a part of the Invaders team and is getting a rework, he definitely has some value here as well, because players are now using Nick Fury, Shang-Chi, Captain America Sam, Kestrel, and Captain America World War II in skill Doom raids and are doing well in 3.5. So I definitely want to add them to this list too. Also, I forgot to talk about the Young Avengers. There is some value here still for this team. I still feel like they do quite well in some of these game modes. They're still annoying on war defense, but Cosmic Crucible, they still hold a little bit of value, at least on defense. They also can do pretty well in some of these Scourge events too, even not just for the Scourge event that they're required for in Node 5 in the Rogue Scourge, but also in some other Scourge events as well. So hopefully that's some good information for you here, guys. Let me know if I forgot anything else, but that's it for this list. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, any teams that you feel like maybe I should have put on, maybe some teams that you feel like I should have put off. You let me know. I always want to know your feedback, or ask me any questions about anything in regards to these teams here. Check out the other videos that are on the channel. Like and subscribe for more. If you want to see more content here, check out the social media links that are down below in the description. Also a link to my Twitch and my Discord. Patreon, which is another way for you to support the channel here for just $1 a month. Check out that as well, and definitely would appreciate your support there. But until next time, guys, y'all be blessed and y'all be safe. Bye.